Well, it is a clear, cool evening to end the last day of practice here for stop number 3 of the FLW Tour here on Lake Lanier, which is presented by Ranger Boats. I got Brandon Cobb joining us today. And Brandon, I'm really excited to talk to you because when I look at Lanier, like on paper at least, it seems like there's a lot of similarities between Hartwell, and you kind of know a thing or two about Hartwell.
Yeah, it's a little similar to Hartwell. There's actually a lake, to me, it fishes a little more like Lake Russell, which is one lake down from Hartwell. But see, my problem here versus kind of what I expected in my mind to do when I got here is after fishing all week, I realized on Hartwell, I mostly target largemouths. And here, the spots are a lot bigger than they are at Hartwell. So you kind of have to target the spots to an extent here at least.
Sure.
And so I've been doing a lot of things that's not something I would do at Hartwell. I've caught some fish, but it's a little different than what I'm used to.
Well, at least, I mean, we've heard from a lot of people at this point, but in your opinion, on this last day of practice, where are these fish at? We know the water's, like, if it was still warm, they'd probably want to be spawning, but what are they doing right now?
Well, I think they're biting pretty well. It's just that they don't seem real grouped up to me. Like, I think what happened is about 3 weeks ago, you know, we had a huge warming trend.
Yeah,
or it's really been warm all the way up till this week, of course, when we get here. But so what happened, I think the winter schools kind of broke up. So I haven't been able to find, like, a lot of times in pre-spawn spot bite, you find schools where you catch one every cast.
Yeah.
I mean, like the Blade Runner type thing, like you've seen at Hartwell.
Yep.
I mean, you can find that and catch, I mean, you might have 17, 18 pounds in 10 minutes if you can find that. But I don't think those schools are still intact. I think a lot of fish broke up, kind of moved up, get ready to spawn, and then it got cold again, and they didn't go back to their winter places. So I kind of think that's why, like, I've caught some fish, but it's been real scattered, like one at a time.
Well, I was going to say, so that would kind of support the fact that we have heard from a lot of guys that there is maybe some, quote, randomness to how some of them good bites are, at least.
It is very random. I don't think there's, I'm sure there is, I just haven't found them, but I don't think there's many big pre-spawn schools left intact where you could catch them on a spoon or out deep, something like that.
Okay, well, the other reason I want to talk to you is because, I mean, you're a pretty versatile guy. I'll say that for you. You know how to catch them, kind of, I figure, anywhere on this lake. Have you checked around in the dirty water at all, which is kind of where I think some of them big largemouths could be caught?
I actually, my first day of practice, I spent my time in the dirty water.
The whole day?
The whole day. Okay. I've done well in this lake in the past. I actually made the All-American here in a regional, and I was targeting purely largemouths. And but that was fall time bite, spots were acting funny, so I wanted to fish for largemouths, and I did it for the first day, and I caught a good many, but the spots are so heavy right now.
Right.
I mean, just a keeper spot versus a keeper largemouth, the spot's going to weigh a pound more almost.
For sure.
I actually caught one today. I weighed him to see. He was 14.5 inches long and 2.4.
Dang.
So they're thick. I mean, a 2.4 is not a big one, but for 14.5 inches long, that's
for sure.
And that's the spots just are weighing so heavy right now.
The other thing I kind of want to see is maybe you could shed some light on maybe some of the techniques. We haven't really talked about that, but what do you think will be some, you know, by the end of this tournament, what will be some of the dominating techniques that we see?
I think you'll see a good bit of like dock fishing, like worm fishing. It's gonna be a lot of worm dragging probably, unless the wind blows. These fish out here, they'll eat reaction baits good if the wind blows. So I think it's supposed to, but like this morning with the clouds and kind of rainy, nasty conditions, that helps the spots. I mean, you can catch them on moving baits a lot better. When the sun, a lot of times you see a lot of worm fishing and things like that, and that's what I have been doing most of practice, just fishing a worm and catching them that way, but it's hard to do that when the wind's blowing 30.
I hear you.
It's gonna be, you're gonna see a lot of different stuff, and I'm sure the largemouths, I haven't found them, but I'm sure you're gonna see quite a few largemouths caught. Anytime you get high water and dirty water, and it's a little dirtier than this lake ever gets, especially above the bridge.
Sure.
And you'll see quite a few largemouths caught too on your spinnerbait, crankbait, things like that. Okay,
all right. Well, the final thing I want to ask you before I let you go get some food and warm up a little bit is I need some fancy fishing picks. But I want kind of a dark horse, right? I want you to think of someone that may not be a Jason Johnson or a Cody Meyer.
Yeah.
And then maybe you throw a few other at me.
Okay, so some picks. It's gonna. I mean, I think it's who's good in this clear water type and adapting on the fly because the way the conditions have changed. I got a buddy that I think will actually do pretty well in this. He's a rookie who spent a lot of time out here. Is Andy Wicker. That's a dark horse pick. He's from not far from me. I fished with him growing up.
Okay.
And he's his rookie year on tour, and he pre-practiced a lot here, so he knows the lake well. And outside of that, I really, it's hard to say because it's just it's going to be, you're going to have to find them Thursday. That's the way it's going to be. It's not going to be, I don't think many fish you find will still be there. It's just going to be changing with the wind blowing. You're not going to be able to fish for some of them.
Okay, all right. Well, I like the dark horse pick.
Yeah, that's one I don't think will get picked much. Might be a low dollar pick for your fancy fishing.
Well, there you go, Brandon. Thank you very much, man. And like I said, go get some food, warm up. We'll see you Thursday.
Thank you.